let's talk about being 23. Now, I'd like to say that I have a good amount of experience in this because I am 23. I learned a lot this year. It was a very transformative year for me. So let's just talk about some things that people don't bring up after you graduate college. All right, so let me paint a picture. So I graduated May of 2024 with a bachelor's in electrical engineering, and a lot of my friends, even though we all went to the same state school, they moved away to different states, and sometimes I do not hear from them. It's been lonely. It was a constant social event in college. But when you graduate, obviously all of that goes away, and navigating that is really hard. Also, I am an only child, so I moved back with my parents before I moved out to my own apartment. So the number one thing, which I've kind of touched on this, is that you will lose touch with majority of your college friends. I feel like if you were a really big social butterfly in college, which this applies to mostly those people, for like the extended 20 people that I would see at every party, I'll never hear from them again. And I never did, just because it takes a lot more effort to keep in touch with those types of people that you kind of didn't hang out with in the first place. That all of your friendships, the ones that you were really close to as well, they all become catch-up friendships. This can seem kind of scary, like, oh, we used to hang out every day, and now I tell them like 6 monthly updates twice a year about what's happening in my life. But honestly, you will get so busy with your new life, and so is everyone around you, that this time is just going to fly by. It's just an adjustment, and you will make friends wherever it is you go. The second lesson that I learned is that the days will bleed together if you don't have some sort of like midweek break. So when I was living at home, I didn't really establish that. And I was commuting into the city. My commute would be like literally an hour and 30 minutes door to door. 3 hours of my day would just simply go and commute, which was very frustrating. So all I would do would be like scroll on TikTok. And so my routine was very much like wake up, go to my job, eat, sleep, repeat. If you don't have some sort of break in the middle of your week, you're not seeing friends, or you don't have a hobby, job, your days will just blend together. The third, and probably the most obvious, you can feel a little lonely in the beginning. And that is a very valid and very widespread feeling. Even though I have a roommate and there's definitely a lot more of a social, like I have a lot more social interactions now that I've moved out, still, people are very busy with their own lives. Like truly adulting has like come into the picture. Like people are going to work, and then they probably have like a fitness class that they're taking right after work, or they are going on a date, they have a boyfriend, they live with their partner, like whatever it is, people have adult commitments, and it's no longer like you go to school and then you go to the bar after, and then after the bar you go to post game, and then the next day you just like sleep over at your friend's house. Like that's done. If you don't take the loneliness that you feel in stride, it's going to consume you. You have to get comfortable with the idea that you will be alone for some of it. Next, a little bit of a nerdy one, but definitely invest early. I knew nothing of financial literacy or anything like that after I graduated college. They literally just don't teach you. I feel like unless you're a business student, which I did a business minor, and I learned like very little of this. But like with this type of stuff, time is just on your side. The faster you invest, the more your money will compound over time. And I know that like especially for women, this stuff can be like it can feel like you're not welcomed into this like financial investing space. But nowadays, there are a lot of resources out there made by women for women to help you invest. And next, in the same vein, opening a high yield savings account. High yield savings account, I always recommend doing because, like, if you're not like super duper rich, like, you can open a high yield savings account with relatively low risk. Obviously, do your research. There's a lot of small banks out there that are pretty reputable, like Capital One, Vanguard, that can open a high yield savings account. And the benefit with these is that they just have a higher interest rate. So you will get like 4% every single month of interest. And if you put it in like a normal savings account, then the money will just sit there. You know what I mean? Like it's not appreciating in any way. I'm no financial expert. Do not hold me accountable to anything. This is just what I found to be helpful as someone who is a little bit of an amateur with investing. Next, and this was the hardest pill to swallow for me, you will be the youngest person in the room, the youngest and the dumbest person in the room. Like, especially at work, everyone around me is 20 years older, 30 years older. They know the industry a lot better than I ever will probably. Like, you'll have to speak in meetings and you're gonna have to ask a lot of dumb questions. Because even if you don't plan on staying at this job for the rest of your life, like making those strong connections with people older to you who know the industry better will just make your life easier. And next, making friends post grad is hard. And this kind of goes hand in hand with dating as well. Just meeting new people post grad is definitely a lot harder. And if you're living at home, this might be even more exacerbated if you don't have your friends near you. But if you're living in a big city, honestly, you have to make a lot of effort to meet people. The ways that I found effective is going to like run clubs or fitness classes. Even at those, unless you go up to people, like they will not come up to you. If you're into like pottery or, painting, you could meet people at those types of places. Dating apps, you can meet people that way. I met my boyfriend on a dating app, but dating apps, I understand, are like a hellhole. Like, I completely get it. Personally, how I treated dating apps was, okay, I'm going out with this guy and it means nothing. Like, I had no expectations tied to this encounter that I was about to have. And obviously, I dated seriously. I'm not like a casual dater personally, that's just not my vibe. But I use dating apps as kind of a way to just like get out of my comfort zone, meet a stranger, make conversation. If it went somewhere, great. If it didn't, great. So definitely being intentional with where you meet people, because there's not just these like institutions that are set up for you now to make friends. And lastly, take advantage of your alone time. When I graduated, I was fully single and it gave me a lot of free time. Getting comfortable with spending time with yourself, taking yourself out on solo dates, just go to a coffee shop, journaling your thoughts. Getting comfortable with yourself is so important. It's because later you're going to crave that time alone. That is my list of things that I learned after I turned 23. Obviously, I'm still navigating. I'm only 1 year post grad. I'm almost 24. But I do think that this past year has been very eye opening for me in how I choose to navigate relationships and friendships and just corporate life, because I don't think it's talked about enough. And I hope this helps you feel a little bit better about graduating, because it's not that bad. In fact, it could be even better. Anyways, congrats to anyone that's graduating this year. Wish you all the best, and thank you so much for watching.